YouTube! What is up? It's your boy here, Troa, back again, once again. I'm coming at you live here today with a different type of breakdown. The Efreet Nacht gameplay breakdown. Now, this one's coming out on the desert. Not port base. It's not deserted city. I was kind of like, oh, I'm getting a little sick and tired of doing it that way. So guess what? We're here on the desert, trying something new here with the Nacht. I think this is an okay game, but there's a lot of pros and cons with using the Nacht, primarily on this specific map. We're going to go over that. The build is in the description for this suit. This is the level 1. This is the 350 variant. The build that we have, big takeaways, we have 70 boost, 52 melee mod. That's really what we're using here. We also have a level 1 database link on it, extra 3% damage to head and legs. We'll talk about that. But let's go ahead and get into it. First, I want to say what's up to the chat. Lothar, what's going on, buddy? Nova, Coolio, Yao Yao, Young Spud. What's breaking, young bloods? Let's get right into this. Now, we're doing this a little bit differently in terms of how we're streaming. We are streaming this live, not from the PS4 this time. We're doing this purely from the laptop, hoping to bring better overall quality to the streams. Now we're going right side on desert, like we always want to. Whether you're on the other side or you're on this side, you're moving right. Why do we move right? Because it gives you a little bit of cover, let you kind of get an eye for where the supports are going to be on desert, can get you into a good spot. Now, this is the worst opening sequence for a gameplay breakdown you may ever see. This is just me fucking this up in every way possible. The Efreet Nacht in and of itself is a very specific suit, and with just a little bit of miscues, boom, right there. Right there with the downswing, just fucking flat out missed it. Very sad. Oh shit, that's me, says Young Spud. Indeed, that is you. You're in this one, buddy. Kimasoka, perhaps this breakdown will be useful when I actually get the suit. You don't want to take too much from the opening sequence except move right. The Efreet Nacht is very specific with each weapon that it has. Unless we have the just the normal cold blade, the katana, the weeb weapon. The downswing, you have to be very precise on where you try to land it. It's not like other mobile suits, BD2, Efreet Kai, Zigaki, even BD1, you name it, to where you can you have some leeway with it, where you can kind of fuck up and you still hit them. If you're not dead on, you're probably just gonna miss. Boom, right there. We have its hard stun, the dual katanas, has its cold kunai as well, but the dual ones, they heavy stun your opponent. So you have to be very, very careful with how you aim those. But if you hit them with a heavy stun, you're basically guaranteed to get a neutral into a downswing on them, which can be very nice, especially when dealing with support. Right there, you saw me miss the standard cold kunai. They're a little bit of a bitch to aim, but that's just a general stun. You get 2 of those. So and I fuck it up again. Nice. Now you see a little bit of phantom range on that Efreet Kai with the neutral, which is very nice. Take advantage of that where need be, especially around those corners on the rock. Now, this specific suit on the desert, I don't really like it too much. I was like, well, I kind of want to use this, make it a little bit different. We're on port, we're on city a lot. Let's go to desert. I'll bring the Nacht. We'll do it there. This suit is very hit or miss on the desert. If they're running only one support, you're at a very great risk of just being run amok by the GPs because it's such an open area. The Nacht thrives in an environment to where it can hide and come out, ambush the opponents, get the jump on them, take advantage of team chaos, etc., in close quarters. since this map is so open, it can't really do that. We are seeing a bit of it, and we are seeing the Nacht thrive in this situation because we've been able to get this into a big team fight. The Nacht is very nice in team fights because of its stealth, has level 3 stealth, so you can't pick it up on the radar. But what else does the Nacht have other than stealth? It has jamming. Its stealth is top tier, but the jamming doesn't really do much. It basically just makes the radar fuzzy for the enemy if they're not blind. You see, I fuck up the downswing right there again. You're not getting much leeway in terms of the width of the hitbox. Lothar says the Beyblade spin to win. Leather says he hates this map. Cool. When have you ever heard of a ninja in the desert? This is right. This is right. But this suit, it thrives in team fights. Its jamming doesn't help it because it's going to tell the enemy when you're within 250 meters of them, because it's going to come up right underneath their radar. It's going to say jamming. What's it also going to show? It's going to show a bunch of fuzzy shit on the radar. So if they're paying attention to their radar, they're going to pick it up and they're going to be very aware that you're coming. Especially on this map, when all they have to do basically is look left or right. Oh, is a Nacht coming over here? Is he over there? Okay, we found him. We can start firing at him immediately. It's not the best spot. But dealing with something like a Gunner Gundam, which negates the jamming. Boom! That beautiful counter-tackle animation. You fool! But when you're dealing with something like the Gunner Gundam, perhaps, the Gunner Gundam negates its jamming effect. So now you have pure stealth. You can actually take advantage of the Nacht at that point against the Gunner Gundam, but something like a weapons rack, a desert gym, you name it, you're not going to have as much fun of a time. Even though we're kind of abusing these guys for the most part, even we're fucking up, we're still getting our hits in, we're doing our job, we're putting the pressure on them, we're not letting them set up what you want to be doing as a raid. But they're going to be very aware of your presence, and they're likely going to be looking for you, and it's going to make it a little bit harder to do your job. Now, that's a good thing and a bad thing. The more you're able to take away, take the attention away of these supports as from your GPs as a raid, the better it is overall for your team. So, but it's just making it a little bit harder on your job for you to do your job because hey, they're very alert of your presence. You have paper thin armor at level 1. You're looking at 10-10. Granted, you have like 26 anti-melee, but it's very fragile. You can lose your legs very quickly. Floating My Bodhi says, obviously the Nacht needs to learn to hide under the sand. Yes, dig its way through the sand, crawl. Maybe the Agai could one day maybe crawl through the sand. Who knows? Agai gameplay breakdown on desert. Maybe it's going to happen. Who knows? Lothar says, desert is made to play with DOMs. This is true. So the DOM high-speed type is much, much better than the Nacht on this map. Be very honest with it. It's a much better suit, but the Nacht is viable. It can be used on deserts. You just have to be able to aim the kunai, not miss your downswing, and try to stay away from the GPs. But if your GPs and your front line isn't holding, best of luck to you. It's not going to be a very fun ride. Luckily, our GPs were kind of on the ball here. They were able to take advantage of any pressure I was taking off of them from the supports. Our GPs did a pretty solid job. I appreciate them. That power gym downswing was well. But yeah, this is typically how you want to play it. Move right in the beginning of the desert. Stay around the edges a little bit of the team fight. Don't get directly involved in the team fights. That's not a very good idea with the Nacht because it's so fragile. It's kind of a glass cannon. Look at that. We did 126,000 damage. 735 assist score. Not too bad. Granted, they're running 2 supports, but we were able to get the job done. Shout out to this entire team. Big takeaways for the Nacht. Big takeaways. This is a much better suit on the city and on port base because you have cover to move in and out of. Makes sense, right? Cover, you're not getting hit as much. You can take advantage of the fact that you're hidden. Much better option. On the desert, it's harder to use. Why? Because, you're out in the open area, you don't have as much cover. They can kind of look here and there, figure out what exactly you're doing. Not ideal. Now this was with the single cold blade. With the dual cold blades, gamers are impressed. Yeah, man, that's right. Absolutely right. But with the dual cold blades, you get a Beyblade spin downswing. What does the Beyblade's spin downswing allow you to do? Allows you to completely disrupt potentially an entire enemy's front line. It's very nice. Very, very nice. Makes you more useful in a team fight. Lets you potentially get to jump on a support more. If you go ahead and stun them, no longer, if you're in a tight spot, you don't have to sit there and go, oh, well, what if I fuck up on my downswing? You'd have to not be paying attention pretty much to fuck up with that downswing in particular with the dual cold blades. But the build for level 1 Efreet Nacht is in the description. I'm probably going to end up making a more optimal Efreet Nacht gameplay breakdown sometime in the future. Not sure when, probably on the city or port, maybe even mountain. We'll see what happens with it. But tomorrow we're going to be having the MLG GBO2 podcast, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be talking about the new banner that comes out tonight. Whole analysis on it. What did we think of the Haimo Saikamuzaku? I did end up pulling that, so I'll have extended thoughts on that tomorrow. Maybe even a gameplay breakdown within a week of the Haimo Saikamuzaku. Friday, we're going to have not a gameplay breakdown, but an early production Gelgoog, just standard gameplay, where we absolutely take the level 3 into Unlimited, and we absolutely kill it. I believe our normal group of people, we were split up. We had about 8 people with us, so randomized teams. I believe it was Dragoon, Artificial Soul, as well as Aaron on my team, versus Coolio, Nova, Young Spud, and I believe Suplex, and we were able to absolutely kill it in the Goog Mander. Looking forward to that one. So we'll see you then. Floating My Boat, he says, I bet you would have died less if you were running Agai in space. Indeed, if we brought Agai to this, it would have been much, much better. F for boy Suplex. Oh man. Oh man. Link to the Discord is in the description. I'll see you there. Catch you tomorrow on the MLG GBO2 podcast. As always, take it easy and don't be a cunt.